Studies tells us that being ignored by someone can be damaging to self-confidence. Yet you have often heard from your friends that less you give her attention the more she is going to chase you. Have you ever realized that? Is there any truth in this statement? Or it is just their drunken wisdom? Or you believing that you can make a girl chase you by simply ignoring her? But I want to warn you that ignoring a girl, to make her like you, more is a double-edged sword and one that requires careful handling. No need to worry, it's not as hard as you think. With a few simple things that you can start doing right now, you might get what you want. Let's take a closer look at what you need to do. What not to do while ignoring a woman. First, we need to discuss what you shouldn't do. Let's get a few assumptions out of the way. That you like this woman and that you want to ignore her to end up with her. Before you start doing anything. Before you even think about what makes a girl chase you. You need to understand one thing, that you can't really ghost her, under the guise of ignoring her to make her want you. In reality, ignoring here means limiting conversation and building up intrigue about you. Let's see other side of the picture. If you were to completely ignore this person, it may increase the gap between you two and cause lasting emotional damage to the person who is being ignored. To make sure you don't end up harming the person, here's what you shouldn't do. Don't ghost her. You need to let her know you're somewhat interested. Don't be rude to her. Don't be manipulative or play mind games. Don't make her feel bad about herself. Don't openly hook up or get in relationships with other people. Now you know that by simply ignoring her doesn't mean you have license to toy with her feelings. Or it will make her chase you. So don't simply follow your drunk friend advice blindly. So the trick is to make it seem like you might be something she can have, while not completely disappearing. According to psychology, people tend to want what they can have. Now let's see what you have to do when she ignores you. You need to make sure that the person knows that having you is possible in the first place, but knows that it's not going to be easy. Tip number 1, don't always be there. If you are always be available, and always in contact, by doing this you will lose your importance. The first step is to finding the balance in relation by limiting your contact. So that the person is still interested in you, and never give up on you. You can do this by keeping yourself busy and by reducing the number of contacts with her. When you understand how often to text her to keep her interested, you can move forward to rest of the steps. Tip number 2, show mild interest in her friends. According to psychology, jealousy can be a sign of feeling deeply in love with someone. If you show mild interest in her friends, she might feel jealous. But be careful you to just ask her about her friends, don't follow up with them. The idea is to solidify the friend zone, while also not blatantly hurting this person's feelings. Tip number 3, make sure you leave a good impression on her. This is your best opportunity to impress her. Hang out with a group of friends, give her your all attention, be nice to her, dress well, smell good, try to be funny. Make sure your presence is not hurting her feelings. And she is comfortable in your presence. If she sees you as caring, funny and good-looking, it creates interest for you. Tip number 4, make your conversations count. You're already not talking to this person a lot. You've got to make sure that the conversations you do have with them are good ones. Unfortunately, that means you can't rely on sending them reels and memes, hoping that's enough. You've got to have interesting, engaging conversations. The couple of conversations you have in a week must be filled with playful banter and a bit of flirting on texts. Otherwise, why would she ever be interested in a boring guy who ignores her all the time? We get it, texting a girl to make her chase you might give you the sweats, but the most natural conversations happen when you're yourself and you connect with the person, right? So don't worry too much, and keep your conversations with her as natural as possible. Tip number 5, understand that there's a time limit to ignoring her. It doesn't matter if you're making all your conversations with her count, or if you've found the perfect sweet spot between ignoring her and talking to her. If you let this go on for long enough, she will lose interest. How to make a girl chase you by ignoring her cannot be a long-term plan. Sooner or later, the reverse psychology to make her chase you will blow up in your face, so make sure you read the room well and change your approach before it's too late. You think anyone's got time to be obsessed with someone who ignores them for 3 whole months? The dating apps on their phones beg to differ. Tip number 6, if she's playing her own games, act unfazed. While you're trying to figure out how to make a girl chase you by ignoring her, she might be playing her own games. She might upload stories with all her boy toys, and might even tell you how much fun she has with this guy who is apparently the nicest person on earth. Unfazed, unbothered, indifferent, cool and collected is how you need to be when she's hitting you with this info. Nice is all she's getting from you. While it's always better to not play any games with each other when you're both interested, if you've already found yourself in such a place, you must maintain your cool. Tip number 7, give yourself a complete makeover. Sure, understanding how to make a girl chase you by ignoring her largely depends on how and how much you talk to her. However, you must also position yourself as desirable. No more are you the shorts and Vans wearing guy. You need to get those nice shirts and khaki pants you always walk by. Get yourself a pair of Chelsea boots, yes, we're going full fancy, and upload the interesting things you do on your social media. According to a study, men who presented themselves as someone who enjoys a high standard of living were perceived as more attractive by women. Another study claims that men who wore a scented deodorant conducted themselves more confidently, which in turn increased their attractiveness. Once you know the things that attract a woman to a man, you're well on your way. Tip number 8. Let her know you're interested. You can follow all the scientific secrets that make girls chase you, but if you don't let her know that you're interested in her, things will fizzle out. Let her catch you staring at her a few times, just a few times, don't be creepy, and make sure you flirt just a little bit with her. At the end of the day, as long as you're both interested in each other, and you're not rude to her while ignoring her, things might work out. Let her know that you're available and interested, otherwise, she's eventually going to move on to someone else. If your favorite restaurant is closed, would you sit around and wait for it to open, or eat elsewhere? Finally, just ignoring or making her feel less wouldn't work. If you want to win her and make her your life, you have to follow these tips. It will help you a lot to melt her feelings for you. I hope this video helped you a lot. If you found it helpful, please share this with someone who needs it. Leave a like and subscribe my channel. See you in next video. Thanks for watching.